All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to recap some of the NBA action from yesterday, mainly the Celtics Knicks game. We'll also talk about the Thunder a little bit, getting their revenge on the Thunder in their two-game set. They split the two-game set. It's like it's like baseball. Playing back-to-backs against the same team in the same arena. You don't really. I mean, again, for me watching basketball, you don't really see that, but that has been something that they've done recently, I guess, to lessen the travel. But unless I'm off base on that, so let's get into the Knicks and the Celtics. So the Knicks have really struggled against the best teams in their conference, the Celtics and the Cavs, and once again they lost. They lost. However, they played a very good game. They played the best game that they possibly could, or no, they could play better. But they played the best that they had against the Celtics and or the Cavs, who they will be playing again. I think Thursday tomorrow. But anyways, they lost a tough game though. They lost a tough game. They'll be playing the Cavs on Friday. They play the Pistons tomorrow, so that's going to be a tough game as well. But yeah, I mean, the Celtics are they're on a whole nother level. They are on a whole nother level. And you see who I have up here? An old friend in Kristaps Porzingis, who he was on another level last night too. I mean, he's pulling up from the logo. I mean, he's hitting all these threes. I mean, I know Kristaps could shoot threes, but I mean, I didn't know he could do it like that. But that's just the Celtics. The Celtics, that is a team that loves to shoot the three. And Kristaps last night, he went 8 of 13 from 3. Was 11 of 19 shooting in general. Finished with 34 points. He was great. He was great last night. And then, of course, you have Jason Tatum, who, I mean, he's, one of the best players in the NBA. 32 points last night. And he hit the shot to tie the game to send it into overtime. He kind of, got OG Anunoby on a spin cycle, hit the, step back, hit the three, tied the game, and they went into overtime. And the Celtics, took care of business in overtime. They outscored the Knicks 12-10. Well, the Knicks shot a last second three by Brunson, but yeah, that put them up, or that made the score closer than it was. It would have been a a 5-point loss, but it ended up turning into a 2-point loss. A big play in this game though was that turnover by Mikal Bridges. That turnover by Mikal Bridges was devastating. The Knicks were down by 3. Of course, Kristaps hits the go-ahead 3 to put them up 115 to 112. And then, Brunson misses a 3. They get the rebound. They call a timeout. And then they pass it to Bridges, and Bridges turns the ball over. And then they pan to Carmelo Anthony immediately, and he was in disbelief with what happened there. And, yeah, it was just, and the Knicks still have not beat the Celtics. Now, they have an opportunity to maybe beat the Cavs, and if they don't, what is their combined record then? 0-10 against these teams this year? So for the Knicks, all 5 starters are in the double digits. Karl Anthony Towns, who's been great this year, double-double, 14 rebounds, 34 points. OG Anunoby had 13 and 8 rebounds. Mikal Bridges had 14 points. Not a great shooting night. OG also was 0 for 5 from 3. Josh Hart had a double-double. He had 10 points and 11 rebounds. Not a great shooting night for him, 5 for 14. And Jalen Brunson had 27 points. And looking at the comparisons for the two teams, both teams shot around the same. The Celtics shot 46%. Knicks shot 47.5%. The Lakers, talk about them in a second. Celtics 38.8% from three-point range. The Knicks only shot 28.9%. Celtics were 80% from the free throw line. Knicks were 62%, 62.5%, which is not good. But I've talked about this over and over and over and over again since I started doing the sports podcast here. The Knicks ceiling is the second round. That's what it comes down to. Now, I will say this was different than the previous games this season because the Knicks were competitive here. The Knicks could have won this game. And if it wasn't for the heroics of Jason Tatum, that game ends in regulation. And you maybe were getting the sense that it was going to be the Knicks night. And, they were up one, right? They were up one. And then, Jalen Brunson finds Josh Hart. Hart's able to put it in the basket for 2 points to put them up 3. And I was like, all right, just play defense. Just play defense. Do what you're supposed to do best. And yeah, like I said, Jason Tatum was able to fake out OG Anunoby, hit the step back 3 to tie the game 107. But again, you got to like the fight that the Knicks had. And, I'm hoping that you get to the second round and you're not a pushover. Right? You really give it to these teams. But I just in a 7-game series, I just don't see it happening. But, the and you look at the Celtics. One thing that sticks out to me, Jaylen Brown. He didn't have he didn't really have a big game yesterday, but also he was kind of iffy going in. So I guess he only played he played 21 minutes, so he'll be more of a factor when we get to the playoffs. But the other starters, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Kristaps, Jason Tatum, all in the double digits. And they just love to shoot the 3 against the Knicks. Like I said, Porzingis, he's pulling up from the logo and he's hitting it. Like, where did you? I didn't know you had this. Look, the Celtics, the bottom line is this. They just have a very good team. And, they won the championship last year. They can definitely win it again. I don't know who's going to knock them off. It might be a team from the Western Conference. Now, speaking of the Western Conference, see, you like that little segue there? I wanted to bring up the Lakers Thunder game. So, this was the second game of a 2-game set in OKC. The Lakers won on Sunday, 126-99. Thunder got their revenge. Both teams, very high-scoring game. Both teams scored 43 points after the first quarter. Thunder outscored the Lakers in the second quarter. Lakers outscored the Thunder in the third quarter. However, the Thunder outscored the Lakers in the fourth quarter, 39-22. So this game was back and forth for a little bit. And then, like I said, once we got to the fourth quarter, the Thunder took over. This game. Yeah, so entering the fourth quarter, what was the score? It was the Lakers were up going into the fourth quarter. So it was close for a little bit, but then the Thunder, like I said, they took over the game. Almost midway through, it was tied at 108. Yeah, the Thunder went on a little bit of a run towards the end there. And they were able to pick up the win. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 42 points last night. Jalen Williams had 26. Chet Holmgren had 14. Lou Dort had 17 for the Lakers. LeBron James had 28. Austin Reeves 24. And Luka had 23. He actually got ejected from the game last night. A couple of technical fouls. So, he got ejected last night. So the pool report conducted by Cliff Brunt of the AP has JT Orr saying that Luka Doncic directed profanity towards an official twice, leading to the 2 technicals that earned him an ejection. So that is why, again, I didn't get to see it. I think he was. I also saw that maybe he was going back and forth with a fan. I don't know if anyone wants to clarify that in the chat or in the comments. But Luka got ejected, so Yeah, that wasn't good, but Thunder got their revenge. Thunder got their revenge after the Lakers really brought it to them the other night. So for the Lakers, right now they are sitting at the 3 seed in the Western Conference, and that's probably where they're going to end up staying, in my opinion. They do play the Mavericks tonight. They play the Mavericks tonight in Luka's return. I did want to talk about that today because that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We are definitely going to recap this game. It's tomorrow. It's on ESPN, so I'm definitely going to be locked in for that. A highly anticipated return to Dallas after everything that's happened, the trade. Anthony Davis will be playing in this game, I would imagine. But, yeah, I mean, this is a big deal for Luka. I mean, he never expected to leave Dallas, and he was obviously very upset when this happened. But, he's a Laker now. And, this is a team that can definitely make a finals run, in my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, this game tonight. But the Lakers have Dallas, they have the Rockets, and then they have the Trailblazers. But these are important games because, if they slip up and some of these other teams behind them win games, I mean, we could see a seismic shift in the Western Conference standings because that's how jam-packed it is right now. So that's a big game tonight. But the Thunder, they got back to their winning ways, and their schedule is pretty light. Suns, Jazz, and Pelicans, they got the number 1 seed locked up. I mean, they could definitely rest some guys as we get into the playoffs. But right now, if the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves move on, because I would imagine that's what's going to happen in the play-in, the first round matchup for the Thunder would be the Timberwolves. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's who knocked them out. Isn't that who knocked them out last year? The Timberwolves? I think it might have been. But that's where we're at right now. Looking at, other than the Lakers-Mavericks game tonight, the other NBA action. You got that game. Rockets and Clippers play tonight. You got the Nuggets and the Kings, Spurs and the Warriors, Thunder and the Suns. Yeah, the Suns, not a good game last night against the Warriors. They lost 133-95. Yeah, it's just disaster of a season. And Suns fans can't wait for this season to be over. And then you got Portland and Utah. You got the Heat and the Bulls. I mean, that's a big game for the play-in, I guess. I mean, both teams are in the play-in. They got the same record. One of them could pass each other. Then you got the Charlotte Hornets against the Toronto Raptors, the 76ers against the Wizards, and then you got the Magic against the Celtics tonight. But let me know what you guys think about the games that we talked about. Let me know in the comments some of your thoughts. Before we go to break, just want to remind you guys, once again, to tip or donate, get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. It makes the show more lively, more entertaining. Between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers, we appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So when we come back from our next break, we'll talk about the 49ers. We'll talk about Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan, talking about him, where he's at, and also what the 49ers could do in the NFL draft. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.